What is going on, everyone? So in today's video, I want to talk more about the next legendary character to come to the game, but I also want to talk about legendary unlock teams more generally. So I want to talk about who it's likely to be coming up. Based on some of the data that I have, you guys might have seen my character spreadsheet. I have a lot of data there talking about, what's happened in the past with characters with legendary unlocks, the teams that they used, and sort of how long it took for certain characters to become farmable when they were the ones being used for this. So we're going to look at some of that data, and we're going to talk about the current rumors that I think at this point it's not confirmed, but there's a lot of people suggesting that it's going to be the same thing. So we're going to take a little bit of a look at that. We're going to start with that, and then we're going to look at the data. So without further ado, let's get this show started. And so I want to bring this up really quickly to start here, and this is the current rumor flying around in the game, is that come February, we're going to see a new team, and they're called Excalibur. Now, I know that Angel and Archangel do not, I don't think, have specifically a lot to do with it. However, some of the other characters that are rumored to come to the game in Excalibur includes, well, Psylocke is going to be shifted to this team, and Psylocke in this case is going to be Betsy Braddock Psylocke, and Angel has had a relationship with her. So that's what I know about that. We're also on the cards to receive characters, supposedly Captain Britain and Gambit and Rogue, of course. So we'll find out, right? We know there's a certain couple of content creators who've been pushing for Gambit and Rogue for some time. I know they might see this, but no, I'm not making fun of them. It's just that they've been pushing the same characters for so long that I just really want, please just give us Gambit and Rogue then, so that people can stop talking about it. That's how I feel. Okay? That's it. Just do it. If it's gonna come, do it now, and then we can stop talking about them later down the line, because we've been talking about this for like, I don't know, well over a year now. So just do it if that's what's happening. But as far as the legendary character, they're suggesting that it's going to be Angel as part of the Excalibur team. I don't know if it's also going to include Archangel or not. I have no idea what the kit may or may not include. For me, it almost makes more sense if Archangel was part of that sort of apocalypse thing down the line, because I'm pretty sure that's how he becomes Archangel and all the stuff on that. I'm not a super expert on Angel specifically, but I know that's usually the case. Does it actually give us... Oh, it gives us a completely different page. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. So let's go back to the other one. It doesn't really matter. But this, yes, Warren Worthington III is who we're expected to get, I think, as the legendary character in February. So with that said, I want to talk about exactly what it means in terms of what characters could we be possibly considering as an unlock for this character. Now, there were a lot of suggestions flying about. I have 2 or 3 particular ones that I think are going to be it. Based on the data, if you look at it, it's very plausible that this would be the case and why it would be. So we need to jump into the spreadsheet, which is quite known at this point. You guys, if you've been following my channel, you probably know about this. This is what I call, I guess I need to change this to soon the 2022 spreadsheet, for 2020 to 2022. Didn't mean to get it to scroll up to the top. But let's talk about some of the more recent legendaries and look at some of that data to suggest, what it could be. So let's talk about Omega Red first, because I think that's pretty important, because he was the most recent legendary to come out. Now, he involved Secret Avengers, Nick Fury, and Winter Soldier. This was a little bit different from previous iterations of legendary characters because it included 3 new characters. Like, I'm trying to hold my fingers up. 3, with Winter Soldier, which was an old farmable character who, I guess in this case, there is some, not synergy, there's lore, connecting them with, Cap Sam, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the show, and then Nick Fury was just thrown in there. I did actually accurately predict Nick Fury to be the case, which I just wanted to point out. But yeah, the Winter Soldier kind of blindsided me a little bit, but either way, we're getting 3 newer characters with 1 old legendary and one farmable character. So if we take a look then at when Secret Avengers were released, in terms of how long it took them to be farmable as well, that's pretty important. So here in the green, if you guys see the green calendar, or wait, no, it's not the green calendar. Days since release, this is what you want. Okay, I need to zoom out a little bit more. So days since release, this is really important. The green is when they became farmable. So this is Secret Avengers here. So this was, because the raid store, that is Sharon Carter, War Store, this is Maria Hill, and Cap Sam is Doom 2-6. We can see 111 days for Sharon Carter, 78 days for Maria Hill, and 94 days for Cap Sam. Now, this was a little bit surprising, because normally when we have node farm characters, this is normally the last character to come out. You guys might remember when you had to farm X-Factor or Polaris for Adam Warlock. Polaris was actually the last character to become farmable. We'll take a look at that as well to look at some of the trends. But it's really interesting when you look at it that way, because a lot of the characters are farmable within 90 days. Sharon was a little bit of a weird one here, because she was actually the last one made available at 111 days since her release. This is a bit strange. Usually you'll find that the characters are like released within 70 to 90 days if they're usable in campaign events. So we need to take a look at where they actually landed. So this is the Omega Red patch here, patch 5.7. So Secret Avengers were only 2 patches behind. So what does this mean if we were to then scroll down here, and what is 2 patches behind this? So I have patch 6.0. I don't know if they're going to go to patch 5.10. I think they just might jump ahead to patch 6.0 and call it a day, because I think that's normally what they do here. So if we take a look at this being the Angel Legendary patch here, then we look 2 patches back. Now the question is, do you consider patch 5.9 to be 1 patch or 2 patches? Because it does trend over 2 months. And so that's the question, I guess. If somebody considers this to be 2 patches, because technically it would have been if it wasn't in the winter, then 2 patches back in that case would actually be Cersei and Icarus. That being said, I just really don't think this is likely for a couple of reasons. Cersei and Icarus are so strong. I think they make money still off the offers of these characters that I just do not see them being made farmable. So that's the easiest thing, is that I really do not see the Eternals being made farmable. Therefore, I do not see them being usable in the Legendary event. Unless they're making this super exclusive, that they're going way back to the old days of like Magneto and Black Bolt, where you couldn't farm the characters in advance. Otherwise, I just don't see this happening because of how powerful they are. I don't think they want to make them farmable to 7-star at this point. So if we consider them just to be 1 patch, then we can look 2 patches back. Well, hey, what happens then? We get to Weapon X. And this is one thing that I want to talk about. I don't know how likely this is, and I think a lot of people are going to suggest to me that they don't think this is going to be the case. But I'm going to tell you exactly why I think this could be the case. So, A, the trends. So 2 patches back would be that. And actually, if you look at some of the other characters, which we're going to look at, Adam Warlock and Jubilee, it was pretty close to about 2 to 3 patches behind as well. But that, if you look at 1 patch before that as well, before Weapon X, we're going to get to talk about why it could be or not be. So I want to talk first Weapon X. And yes, another Omega Red, which is going to be a legendary. We have Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike. These are 3 new characters with 2 old characters, Sabretooth and Wolverine. Sorry, my mouth is getting a bit dry already. But Omega Red is, in some cases, a legendary within a legendary. Now, I want to say that I don't actually consider Nick Fury to be a legendary, like a true legendary at this point. He is permanently available, but also the Kree minions to get him are very easily obtainable very early on. So you can start farming this as a new player basically immediately, like not right away, but within the first month. So I think that is very easy to obtain, despite him being a legendary character. I don't treat him as a full legendary character. So in this case, it's not a legendary within a legendary within a legendary by using Omega Red. I think this is like not even Adam Warlock level legendary within a legendary. It's actually like not, you know, I don't see it that way. So I think this could be possible, but this is just the first thing that I have in mind. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here is New Warriors, because, well, if we go 1 patch back, at the furthest, if we look at some of the other data, that we've only gone usually about 3 patches back. Now, if it goes 3 patches back, well, we're looking at patch 5.6. This is the Mystic New Warriors patch alongside Shang-Chi. I'm not really going to be talking about Heroes for Hire because I don't think that's in. I think if that was going to happen, that would have happened with Omega Red, but it never did anyways. However, there's 2 things that I want to talk about. Now, I think Cloak and Dagger could be very possible. I think that Scopely would be okay with making them farmable. They made Secret Avengers farmable, and so therefore Cloak and Dagger are a raid team. The Secret Avengers are also a raid team. I think it's very likely that they could make them farmable, and therefore usable in some sort of legendary event. Now, the issue here, though, becomes if you're using the full New Warriors tag, is Deathpool. So we know that Deathpool was recently put into the premium orbs on December the 1st. She was put into the premium orb exclusive, and it's been about 127 days since they've been out. Now, what's also interesting is that Cloak and Dagger are at 97 days, 107 days. Oh wait, sorry, which one is Shang-Chi? Oh my god. No, this is Shang-Chi. So Cloak and Dagger is 97 and 107 days at this point in time, how long it's been since they've been released. It's a little bit longer, though, than the above kind of like, we're getting close to, these are the dates for Secret Avengers. So it's a bit tight here. And the question is, would they include Deathpool in an event for being a premium orb exclusive? They have not done this in some time, and I think it's far too early to make Deathpool move from the premium orb to somewhere farmable. I don't see that happening. So the question is, would they use Cloak and Dagger on their own, or would they still do Cloak, Dagger, and Deathpool because Deathpool was a campaign event, and even though that she is a premium orb exclusive, that this is still possible, and they might still consider this. Now, let's just say for a moment that they do decide to do New Warriors. Now, who else is going to be alongside the New Warriors? I actually, you know what? It wasn't until this morning that I sort of added to why I think this might be, and Deadpool. So I think Deadpool could be that Winter Soldier connection, you know, as they were to Secret Avengers. Deadpool has that connection to Deathpool. And Deadpool, oh my god, Deadpool, he has that connection to Deathpool. But here's the other reason why it's a problem. Deadpool has Oz formula. His unique to upgrade Deadpool is Oz formula. And we're currently going through a period of time where you need lots of Oz formula for the Web Warriors. So then if you want to get higher tier on this new legendary unlock, you're going to be forced to put more Oz formula into Deadpool if you haven't already. I would assume not a lot of people have him gear 13 or 14. So if you want to get that 6 or 7 star for a new, I mean, it's very hard to get like a 6-7 star legendary character. But hypothetically anyways, you know, even on a second pass, on this new legendary second pass, you would still need to invest gear into Deadpool because we're in this new mythic period of time where you need to actually gear them up to 70, 75, gear tier 14, whatever it is that you need to get them to, and that's more Oz formula for Deadpool. So that sucks if that would ever actually happen. I think that aside from Deadpool, the only other connections I could see to Deathpool and the New Warriors might be like Thanos. Again, more of that connection to Deathpool. Those are the most kind of characters that come out to me personally. Now, what other legendary? Honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be lore connected or not. I would say Shuri or Star-Lord. You know, they're permanently accessible legendary characters right now unless someone else comes around. Possibly Invisible Woman. The reason why I want to raise Invisible Woman is because nobody's really using her that much anymore, and it would be a great way to force other players to have to gear Invisible Woman. You know, we know that Star-Lord is going to be usable possibly in this Nowhere Heist tag down the line. A lot of people actually already use Shuri. So that's why I'm kind of thinking like Invisible Woman would be this great way to kind of screw you into having to gear another character that you're not using right now, or a lot of people aren't using. There is some suggestion that people were talking about Magic and Phoenix, but I'll tell you why I don't think Magic is going to be a part of this. And if Magic is part of this, I will be very surprised, and I think it's just too soon. I don't think any of the characters in patch 5.9, this patch, is going to make it because it's just far too close to Angel. And I said this, if you look at any of the other data trends, and we're going to scroll back to Adam Warlock and Jubilee, it's never been this tight between them. There's always been a patch in between. Like I said, it depends on, I guess, if you consider this to be a patch or not, right? But then that means Magic needs to be made farmable as well. So if Magic is at all to be considered in there, she's going to need to be made farmable. And that would make it really soon. I actually, for whatever reason, I didn't finish my day since release, but it doesn't really matter. Her offer came out on the 8th of December. We're currently recording on the 22nd of December. It's been 2 weeks. So she would need to be made farmable within the 60 to 90 day range, which would be in about a month and a half. And I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But it's tight. So if this is going to be the case, It would kind of make sense from a shard perspective because we're only getting 150 shards for magic, so therefore you would need to come up with an extra 160 to get her to 5-star, and that actually sounds really bad. So for them, that sounds really good, right? For panic-induced farming. I'm going to put that one on the fence, but as far as that's going to be like the side character, it's going to be the extra character. But as far as pure characters go, I think for me, number one, not that it's my number one choice, but I think that Weapon X could still be it with Omega Red. New Warriors. The only reason why I'm concerned about New Warriors, though, is because of Deathpool, because she's a Premium Orb exclusive. And there is a third one that I want to talk about. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about the other characters. So when we look at Adam Warlock as a legendary unlock here, we saw that he came out on June the 28th, but who did he use? He used X Factor. Now, 2 patches behind, we had Polaris and Multiple Man. So those were 2 patches behind that. Now, we could look a little bit further, and that's why it goes a little bit closer to the line here. So when we talk about Shatterstar and Longshot, it was actually 4 patches back. This was the longest it had ever been because of the winter patch. So we're looking at 5.4 for Infinity Watch and 5.0 for Shatterstar and Longshot. I kind of want to say that it wasn't that hard to get Shatterstar and Longshot to 5-star because they had been out for so long. Shatterstar had some battle passes and stuff like that. I think Longshot may have had an additional blitz. I didn't find that to be too difficult for me. And then Multiple Man was a campaign event. The hardest for me at the time to get Adam Warlock was actually Polaris because it was very tight if you look at the dates here. So 71 days and 71 days for Multiple Man and for Polaris. That was actually very low. That was the days since release. And Polaris particularly was very close to the line from the event. I believe that she became farmable maybe about 5 or 6 days before the event went live for Adam Warlock, meaning that you had a total amount of like 12 days, 13 days maximum to farm Polaris from when she was made farmable. The other characters here, you can see, I believe it was here, 189 days for Shatterstar and 167 days for Longshot. How long they were out before they were made farmable. Now, this was a bit of a weird one here, and if you look at Jubilee, for example, who was patch 5.1, and you look back, well, once again, it's 2 patches back. Again, it depends on what you think about the winter patch, but for Pymtech here, this was, I don't know why I don't have it listed. I think it's because I don't remember what patch this was. Was this 4.9? I don't remember what the number was actually before they moved to 5.0. Doesn't really matter too much here, but you can see that it was 2 patches back from patch 5.1 to the Pymtech patch. And so you're seeing almost always, you're seeing about 2 patches behind. Doc Ock, let's look again. So Doc Ock, again, I don't remember what patch this is, but I kind of separated the lines here. These are the patch lines. And you have Domino, Negasonic, and X23, which are 2 patches behind Doc Ock. So all of these characters have been 2 patches behind. And I'll tell you why I think that it could be Weapon X. And now maybe I'm reading too much into this, but if we look at Doc Ock's unlocks, that was X-Force. X-Force. Jubilee. Well, it used Pymtech. Okay, so that's a little bit different. But if we look at Adam Warlock, it was X-Factor. X. So, we come down here, which is 2 patches, almost 2 patches behind, and we're getting Weapon X. I don't know. Coincidence? Maybe. But who knows, right? You know, maybe this is intentional. I don't know. Conspiracy theory? Maybe. But, you know, these are some of the things that I think that could happen. You know, I don't, as far as other characters go, you know, what legend, you know, this is a full 5-man team. So if it was Weapon X, it would be a full 5-man team, and that's that. As far as other characters, but, you know, I'm not, the X-Men legendaries, I don't know, Phoenix, possibly, Magic, X, that could still happen, I suppose. One thing I do want to say is not going to happen. It's not going to be Web Warriors. I'm sorry, guys. It's not Web Warriors. Web Warriors is not going to be the legendary unlock team. I can guarantee you this. I will eat a sock. I said it here right now. If it's Web Warriors, I'll eat a sock. It's far too early. So it's far too late because of when Angel is going to be coming out. It's not possible. I just really don't think it's going to happen. Web Warriors, I think, could be a legendary unlock for the next one, which will be in June. Because that's roughly when Adam Warlock came out, was June the 28th. So I could see that happening, but definitely not for this one. It's just far too close to the line. I don't think that's happening. Magic would be like the absolute cutoff. I'm not even sure if this is necessarily going to happen either. But a lot of people are suggesting that maybe, you know, Magic and Phoenix could be added. If it is Magic and Phoenix, then I think it's going to be New Warriors, because it's the only thing that makes sense. New Warriors and Magic and Phoenix. But it's a lot of characters that are... And actually, Phoenix having her unlock requirement pushed down to 5-star, I think is why people are suggesting that it could be Magic and Phoenix. Because she did get that decrease from 6-star to 5-star unlock. But once again, Deathpool is Premium Orb exclusive. So if Deathpool is included in this unlock, will they make her farmable? I don't think so. But then people might get a bit ragey if Deathpool is required, but there's no other way to get her other than the Premium Orb. Now, I will say, again, she was a campaign event character, so a lot of people should have been able to get her to, like, 4-star, 4.5-star, maybe even 5-star, depending on whether or not you spent a little bit or cored really hard. So I think that could still be possible, and I think that they want to make things a little bit more exclusive than they had in the past. I want to be perfectly honest. As someone who doesn't spend money, I easily got Omega Red. I was easily able to get Omega Red. And now, the reason why I was able to get Omega Red is because I spent power cores on Cap Sam. Now, if anyone who's been following my channel for a little while, you know that I love to core certain characters that I believe are going to be worth it. Now, I typically core characters. I used to core characters that were in the Strike Pass, because Strike Pass was a very good way of shard scarcity. I did this with Cap Sam, and it paid off because I was able to unlock Omega Red completely free to play after he became farmable, and I finished off what I needed there. Now, for Jubilee, Jubilee was Pymtech, I guess. Oh, sorry, I meant to say Adam Warlock. I jumped ahead there. For Adam Warlock, who required X Factor, you know, I cored really hard for characters like Multiple Man and Polaris to make sure I got that, and I also got that free to play. Every single legendary I've been able to unlock free to play, but you need to be important about your resources, especially when it comes to power cores and when it comes to using them on specific characters. Now, is Magic going to be it? I haven't spent on Magic. I never spent any cores on her, so it's possible this could screw me. If Magic is actually in there, then, well, I guess maybe I'm going to have a hard time, or hopefully I save a lot of cores to be able to push farm her whatever is possible. But otherwise, if it's the New Warriors, hopefully I'll be good as well. So, yes, two possible things here on my TLDR. I believe that it's going to be either New Warriors or Weapon X. I think there's still a chance for Weapon X. Otherwise, I think it's going to be New Warriors, and we could be talking about Magic and Phoenix, or we could be talking about Deadpool because of that conspiracy theory behind Oz formula and another legendary, probably a permanently legendary one. But I would actually think that Invisible Woman would be also another good one, because not a lot of people are using her right now. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll tell you what it's not going to be. It's not going to be Cersei and Icarus. I will also eat a sock if they put Cersei and Icarus as a legendary unlock. I don't think it's happening because they're too powerful. They don't want to make them farmable, and I think that's that. But let me know in the comments down below what you believe is actually going to happen, what you think the next legendary is going to be. If you don't think it's going to be Angel and Excalibur team coming on the next patch, or what unlock characters you think are going to be used for that. Maybe I'm just crazy. Let me know all of that in the comments down below as well. Until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all later. Boilon signing out.